Hi, welcome to CTS. In today's lesson, we are looking at the computer. So let's see what we have for in today's lesson. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define a computer, distinguish between hardware and software, give examples of hardware and software. You should also be able to list examples of what are known as input devices. You should be able to list examples of output devices, and you should be able to explain how processing happens inside a computer. And finally, you should be able to distinguish between main memory and backing storage. Let's get started. So what is a computer? A computer is a device, and this device is used to process data into information. Okay? For example, you may want to know how much profit has our business made. And so we can take all the different numbers of the amounts of money people have been giving us when buying things, and when we enter them into a computer, the computer is able to process that data and give us information about the profit we made. Now, for a computer to be able to do what it does, it consists of hardware and software. Now, what is hardware? Hardware are the physical components of a computer. Physical, that means you can touch them. And software, these are the programs used to process information on a computer. So software refers to programs, things that we use, to process data, to process information, and we'll look at examples of that shortly. Now, a computer has input devices. For you to be able to enter information into a computer, you need an input device. And these input devices are used to enter data into a computer. Now, a computer also has output devices. These are used to display the results of what a computer processed, so that you are able to see that information. Now, in order for a computer to hold data and programs, it needs to have memory and also backing storage. Now, let us begin, let us move on and look at hardware in detail. Now, what is hardware? Like I said, hardware refers to physical components of a computer. And examples of hardware are the mouse, keyboard, and speakers, And what you need to know is that there are different types of computer, and they are used for different purposes. For example, what you see in this picture is a type of computer known as a desktop computer, and it is used on top of a desk or an office table, and so it is called a desktop computer. And other types of computer come in different sizes, and others are meant to be used whilst you are in transit or you are in another location, so you can move with it from place to place. Such an example of a mobile computer is a laptop. It is small enough to be used on your laps. Now, although computers come in different types and sizes, well, usually they have similar components or parts. What you are seeing in the picture here, this screen is known as a monitor. It is what enables you to see what is inside a computer. And then you have a keyboard here, the device that you use to type or to enter data into a computer. Then there is a mouse. You can use it to point at things on the screen, to select items of interest, and you also have a computer case, which is also known as a system unit. Now, may I mention that some books you will read, and indeed some people who may teach you, they call this a CPU. Now, as you will shortly learn, that is not very correct. And well, but if your teacher calls it a CPU, or the book you are reading, at the level where you are in grade 7, well, it is fine. But if we are to be very accurate and very correct, we usually call this a system unit or a computer case. Now let us move on and look at software. Software, like we mentioned earlier, software refers to programs a computer uses to perform information processing tasks. So if you want to calculate, if you want to perform some calculations, mathematical calculations, you need to use a calculator program. You need to use another program which is known as a spreadsheet. So if you want to make some drawings, some paintings, you can use software or a program called Paint. Now you will notice that sometimes I use the word software, sometimes I use the word program. Well, the word software is the same as program, and that is why here we said software refers to programs a computer uses to perform information processing tasks. Now let us look at common examples of software. There is a software that is known as the operating system. Maybe you have heard about, people talk about Windows. I have Windows on my computer. Others say I have Linux. Others say I have Ubuntu. All these are known as operating system. An operating system is a very important program on your computer. Without an operating system, you can't do anything on your computer. All the other programs that you can use, like Microsoft Word, like Google Chrome, for them to work, they all need to sit on the operating system. Why? It is because the operating system is the main program or software system on a computer, and it controls all other programs on a computer. It is the operating system which can even help you to put a password on a computer so that you protect it against other people who may want to steal information from your computer. So the operating system is a very important software. And like I said, examples of operating systems are Windows. I want to ask you, do you know the operating system which is on your computer? Most likely it is Windows, because in Zambia many people use Windows, but well, other people can use Linux, others can use Macintosh operating system, but well, you know what an operating system is. Now, there are also other types of software or computer programs. For example, there is one called a word processor. A word processor. We use this one to type and edit documents. If you want to type some words, you can use a word processor. Now, there are different kinds of word processors, and many people in Zambia, they use a word processor called Microsoft Word. It's called Microsoft Word because the company that sells it is called Microsoft Corporation. Let us look at other examples of software. Another type of software or a program, computer program, is the one called a web browser. A web browser is software that you use to access information on the internet. For example, for you to listen to me right now, you are using the internet. Now, you don't just need the internet. You need a program that enables you to log into Google Classroom and to be able to access these lessons we are having. Now, for you to be able to do that, you use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge or Mozilla Firefox. I don't know the one you are using, but all these programs I have mentioned are known as web browser. So a web browser is software that is used or that enables you to access information on the internet. Now, another type of program or another example of software is a graphics program. A graphics program or graphics software is software used for drawing or to edit images such as pictures. And you know, there are different types of graphics programs. And examples of graphics program is one called Paint. It is provided by Microsoft. Another one is called Canva. There's another one called Microsoft Publisher, and another one also which is known as CorelDRAW. Now, let us look at input devices. Earlier on we said input devices are used to enter data or control signals into a computer. So if you want to type, for example, you use a keyboard. So a keyboard is an example of an input device. Another example of an input device is a mouse. You use a mouse to point at things on the screen, to highlight certain text you want, or well, to just select objects. Another type of input device is a microphone. Right now, I am speaking. What am I using? There's a microphone there. You know what? This microphone is connected to a computer so that you are able to hear my voice clearly. So a microphone can be used to enter sound into a computer. So as I'm speaking, I'm producing sound and it is captured by the microphone. And this microphone takes the sound into a computer. Another example of an input device is a barcode reader. If you go to a supermarket or a shop and you buy some things, there's that device they use to scan that code, which we call a barcode. And then once they scan it, they're able to see the price on the screen. That is known as a barcode reader because it is able to capture information from that product you are buying. It's able to enter the information into a computer. That's a barcode reader. Then there is also a web camera, a webcam. For you to see me as I'm speaking and this is my image. What is capturing my image? What enables you to see it? It's because there is a webcam in front of me, and that is why you are able to see me. That's a webcam. Okay, so it takes my image, puts it inside a computer, and so it is known as an input device. Now you can see all the things I've been talking about here. Okay, there's a mouse, there's a microphone. Microphones come in different types. Okay, there's a trackball, there's a joystick, the one used for playing games. There's a scanner. A scanner is used when you want, you take your picture, a physical picture, you want to see it inside the computer, you can put it inside a scanner. And well, it can be used for other things in case you want to scan a past paper, a document, a textbook. You just put it inside this device and you'll be able to see the things on the computer screen. Okay, let us move on and look at the central processing unit. What is the central processing unit? You know what? This is the brain. It's like a brain. It's the brain of a computer. It is this device that processes all the things that you give a computer. If you want to calculate, you want to perform some calculations, some addition, some multiplication, the central processing unit does that. If you want to edit a picture, you want to draw, the central processing unit does that. So the central processing unit processes the data which is inside a computer, and it has two parts. There is one part called the control unit. Usually we call it by an abbreviation called CU, the control unit. This is the part which gives commands to all other parts of the computer to perform their functions. So if you want to perform an addition, it gives a command for the addition to be done. If you want to print out, it will command the devices which needs to carry out printing. Now guess what? There is another part in a processor called the arithmetic logic unit, the ALU. What does it do? It performs calculations. Okay, well, this is how a processor looks like. It is a very small thing which is inside a computer, and you know what, because it's so powerful and it does a lot of things, people like to call the whole system unit. Remember the one we called the computer case, or the system unit. They call the whole computer case as the CPU, but actually the CPU is just a small device inside, but it does very important work. Now let us look at output devices. These are devices which are used to display what is in a computer, or results of processing. Now, there are two types of output which a computer produces. There is one which is known as soft copy output, and another which is known as hard copy output. Let us see what these are. Hard copy output is a physical or tangible form of output. You can touch it. Like when you print on a paper, that is a hard copy. So when we print something on using a printer, we can say, well, I have a hard copy. A hard copy is a physical form of output. But there is another type of output. It is known as soft copy output. This one is in electronic form. For example, you are able to see me on your computer or on your phone. your computer or your phone is outputting the information that you are seeing. Now, let us look at examples of output devices. Examples of output devices include the monitor. This is the device that displays information that is in a computer. Some people call it the computer screen, but its proper name is the monitor. Then you also have speakers. This output device is used to release sound output. Then you also have a printer. This is a device used to produce a hard copy output on paper. Now, a printer is such an important hardware device, and it is used by many people. It is used in different business organizations. So let us just speak a few more things about a printer. To print a document, you need a printer, ink, paper, and a computer. So it does not mean just having a printer then you will be able to print out things. No. You need to connect it to a computer, and then you need paper, and then you need ink in a printer for it to be able to print. Now, this ink comes in form of what are called ink cartridges. All right, and well, the ink, different types of printers use different types of, ink cartridges, and let me just show you images of this. Like I said here, ink cartridges are in different types and sizes. There's this one, which is usually used by a type of printers called laserjet printers, and there are these type of cartridges which are used for inkjet printers. And strictly speaking, this is what we refer to as ink cartridges, and then the one used by laser printers, we call them toner cartridge. Okay, so a printer can be used to print words of a document, and it can also be used to print images. And there are times where someone wants to print something on one document, but he wants to see multiple images of that thing, and so a particular style of printing which can be used to print an image more than once is known as tile printing. All right, now let us talk about main memory and backing storage. For a computer to be able to hold the information, it needs to have memory. Just like you, for you to be able to remember things, you need to have memory. Okay, so a computer also needs to have memory, but it also needs to have what is called backing storage. Well, what is the difference between main memory and backing storage? Main memory only holds information whilst you are working on it on a computer, when the power supply is still connected, when a computer is still on. When you turn off a computer, this memory loses what it has. Okay, so it is only designed to be used or to hold information whilst the computer is on. And I need to mention that main memory is the type of memory which is usually called RAM, RAM, RAM. Those letters stand for random access memory. Now, there is also what is known as backing storage. Now, imagine, let me ask this. What would happen if you only had main memory on a computer? It means you won't be able to store things there and find them tomorrow. It means you only see things whilst you are working on them. But, well, there is backing storage. And backing storage is used to hold information indefinitely. Have you seen this big word, indefinitely? Indefinitely means for a long period of time, as long as you want it to be there. So backing storage is used to hold information indefinitely, and it's able to hold information while a computer is off. Now, there are two types of backing storage. There is one known as the hard disk drive. This one, it stores information on hard platters. They are like disks, you know the way you have CDs, but these disks are made of metal. Okay, they are hard. So they are inside this hard case here. You know, inside there are disks which are hard, and so it's known as the hard disk drive. And so it can hold a lot of information. There's another type which is becoming very popular on the market. It is known as solid state device. This one does not use some sort of platters or disks. it uses some circuits. You know, I believe you've learned about circuits, where you can connect a bulb to this other component. And well, these solid state devices, they use some sort of integrated circuits, okay, different circuits which are connected together. And so they are very fast, okay. When you want to access something on it, it will quickly display on the computer, so they're quite fast. All right, so that is your hard disk, and a solid state device looks like that. Yes. And that brings us to the end of this lesson. So please play this lesson. In case you didn't catch something, you can pause, you can rewind, but at the end of it all, I want you to answer the questions.